Now, speaking of old people not liking technology, we have Chris Demm on, but he is not in the studio today. Let's see if he's there. Let's see if he can speak right now. Are you there?
I am not a robot.
Oh, there he is.
All right, he's there.
There he is. Okay, so we got him. Okay, here's what happened. Okay, so Chris Demm is not in the studio with us today. Biggie and myself are right here, as always. Chris Demm is broadcasting from home simply because there is someone that he's come in contact with who doesn't feel well. So we decided, out of an abundance of caution, and that was the phrase Biggie said would be dropped all during this pandemic and beyond.
Absolutely.
That he would stay out today just until that person got a negative COVID test. Person hasn't tested positive or anything. So there he is from home, and it all got hooked up last night. How does it feel being there in your house?
You know, it's okay. I mean, I'm in my bathrobe.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't showered.
Mm-hmm.
The cats are at my feet.
Uh-huh.
I just did the New York Times crossword puzzle just right before we started.
Right.
That's a real glimpse into retirement.
The cat's are at his feet. He's doing the New York
Crossword puzzle to stay sharp.
I can't be,
Right, that's right.
I can't be certain, but I believe that I heard out of, right as you were introducing the program, Kelly, that one of the cats was up chucking breakfast. Right
good.
In the next room. I can't be sure.
Tremendous.
We're so glad you're here.
There's a...
How's Daddy's home?
Later, there's like an animal segment here on this program today where some cats are being rescued. And I thought you'd be the perfect person to take them in. When cats get rescued,
Yep.
they go to Chris Demm. He has 4, only one of which is a real true a-hole.
Yeah.
And they call him that. Now, with him out, it couldn't really have been. I blame myself or credit myself for Chris Demm being out. Okay.
Blame and credit?
Well, you tell me if it's blame or credit, because I guess I just forget what the world is like. And, I'm not very corporate. I don't, we just come in here and do this. That's all I wear a hoodie. I'm wearing a hoodie right now. Here's why Chris Demm is at home. Yesterday, he said so-and-so doesn't feel well, and they're going to get a COVID test. So I said, in an effort to be proactive, I said, well, let's do this. If that person were to test positive, which we don't think they're going to, I just don't, the symptoms are not really COVID-like.
And I feel great. I feel fine.
And Chris Demm feels great, and he's vaccinated, and we're all vaccinated. And we all feel fine, and Chris Demm feels great. Okay. So I said, this is how I am. This is how I am. I say, well, let's get ahead of this thing. Let's see if that person were to test positive, then what do we do? Instead of having it sneak up on us and say, oh, now we're going to be scrambling because Chris Demm's got somebody he's come in contact with that now has COVID. Why don't we plan that if this person does test positive, what are we going to do? So we see somebody from HR come walking by. I call them in.
Quick question.
I say, Chris Demm has contact with somebody who doesn't feel well. They say, go home right now and go get
Immediately.
tested. Immediately go home. And later in the day, we hear, you'll not be on the air until this person gets a negative test. And what I didn't want to happen was that. That's, I don't like routine being disrupted. So when I got that text later in the day saying, oh, Chris Demm won't be back until this person tests negative, I just said to myself, well, didn't I screw things up,
Well, I'll tell you, you're new to the corporate world.
Yeah.
See, I've worked in it before.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, once you get HR involved.
That's it.
Yeah. HR, lovely people. They can be friendly as can be.
Yes.
But let me say this. They ain't your friends.
No, they
always, their job is to look out for the company.
Right. So they sent Chris Demm home, which is probably the right thing to do, just out of an abundance of caution.
Well, it was awkward when they were dragging Chris Demm out and covering his face with you see it in movies, like a bag.
The bag.
Yeah. So that was weird.
Yeah, that was strange.
Yeah.
They got him into a car, ducked him in there.
He's exposed.
Right. And I didn't think it was that serious. It's just one person who doesn't feel well, not even with COVID symptoms, but different type symptoms. But dumb old me, I opened my mouth and look who's not here today.
Mm-hmm. You kicked off the flow chart.
I did. I completely did that.
Absolutely.
So I take credit for saving
lives.
Lives. I take credit for saving lives, but also I take blame for not
Disrupting
having
the flow of the show.
Exactly.
Yes.
And here we have valued member of this team not here today. It's not like now last year, a year ago, I actually had COVID, mild case, but everybody was at home, and that was difficult to do. This time it's just Chris Demm. Hopefully he'll be back in tomorrow.
Yeah.
I could not have picked a worse night to stay up very, very late. I told you yesterday. I mentioned this briefly that I was out to see a musical last night.
This was your night of culture.
It was.
And everything really started breaking right as your night of culture began.
Right as I was sitting down to this nice dinner at a place that Chris Demm had said, I don't even belong, which is totally true. It's the first time I've been there. And it's, and in fact, the people we went with, great folks, good friends of mine, the restaurant is called Osteria. And they thought I said Listeria. And I said, no.
Your companions?
Yes. They said, we put
I
in.
don't know if we want to eat there. No.
It's an Italian word.
Yeah, they were concerned. It's good Italian food, and it's. But they thought I said Listeria. It's Osteria.
Yes.
It's delicious, by the way.
I'm sure.
And Dave will make fun of me. I got lasagna. I just said, let me get.
I'll tell you, I like lasagna.
God darn!
I think if a place does a lasagna right, they do everything right.
Thank you. And I mean, it's a little. Here's why Dave and certainly Chris Demm would make fun of me. It wasn't something that was, all frou-frou and a special and in a reduction sauce and all that. It was just a plank of lasagna. In fact, when I ordered it, the others at the table were like, you sure you don't want to do something a little more exotic than lasagna? Remember, I traveled all the way to Florence, right, to get a lasagna, and it was delicious. And this is the second best lasagna I've ever had. The first one was in a little restaurant called Zazza's in Florence.
Oh.
Best lasagna I've ever had. Last night was the second best lasagna I've ever had.
Well, how about that?
Wow.
I loved it. Anyway.
Was it meat lasagna? Yeah, okay.
It's good meat lasagna and hot and just bubbling and delicious. But we went to see this musical called Dear Evan Hansen, which I had never even heard of before. And my wife wants to start getting out and seeing these things. So we went to see it last night. And I'd say it's very, very good. I was impressed. Musical theater, sometimes I love, I take it or leave it. But I was impressed with this one. It was
what was this one about?
Depression, suicide.
Was it kind of like being more understanding of people?
Yeah, bullying.
Okay.
That's what it's about, really. It's
what a time for you to see that too, right? When you're trying to be more understanding
Right.
of why Chris Demm can't be here.
right. Of course, of course, I'm raging mad.
Oh, I can tell. Sometimes silence speaks the most.
Yes.
When Chris Demm sent his group text out telling us he wouldn't be in, there was one person who was very obviously absent.
shaking. I was shaking. I was so mad that he wouldn't be here. I don't like a disruption.
Kelly, party of four.
I don't like disruption in the flow. And so when I heard that, I was unbelievably angry. And yet, that was what we were going to do. But I saw this. This is a really good show. We have a new performing arts center here called the Tanger Center, and I was able to wrangle a few tickets for last night, and it was really good. And they said that was the first time they've done live theater, that particular show, in 620 something days.
Wow.
That was literally the first time that the show had been on anywhere.
I think it's already been like a feature film. It came out
Yes.
within a year prior.
You're right, because when I turn on my streaming page on my TV, it pops up like, do you want to watch it? And now I want to see what they did with the movie version.
Yeah, I've seen that promoted.
I'd recommend it. I'll tell you, I all I knew was that somebody in the show committed suicide. And I was afraid it was going to be I don't want to give too much away, but the main
to veer into like after school special territory.
That's what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be. I really thought that it was going to be depressing, but they made it. The circumstances are really good. How it works out. It's. I would recommend anybody see this.
Okay.
It was really a neat and unique story that I had never thought of before. So I loved it. I thought it was really good. But, we got out of there at 10:30, and I was in a parking garage sitting there until 11. I'm working on about
garage.
the parking garage. You get stuck in it.
Yeah, you didn't pay for the premium parking. Didn't open the wallet for that, did you?
No, did not. Didn't open the wallet for anything. Didn't pay for the tickets, and certainly wasn't going to pay for premium parking. So we were in the garage, and that the getting out of a parking garage is such a pain. You know, you just
The
sit.
worst.
You sit for like 20 minutes, which is what we did. So I didn't get home till after 11 and just working on a few hours sleep here. And then we have Chris Demm from home. So that's, what we have to do today. In other words, this show might not be at its peak.
All right.
Let
me ask you something about this is more technology. The parking deck. Was this one that has gone away from an actual attendant and it's only machines?
No.
They had an attendant.
They had police, attendants. I paid right there to a person.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah. And
Well, because I got stuck in one for about an hour one time, and it was because they had just changed from attendants to machines only. And let me tell you, nobody knew how to use the machine.
Were you in a car at that time, Biggie?
Yes.
so,
Are you saying you thought I just got stuck in a parking deck?
Stuck in a parking deck.
I'm not that big yet.
he misunderstands. You're closing in. There's a study today about obesity and being overweight. I want to save it for you.
Oh, great.
For later.
As if I need more of that.
I wanted to save it for when Dave gets here.
Oh, great.
So we can talk it up. Because next year, of course, is the year that Biggie and I are really getting down
That's
to
right.
in weight loss.
Well, maybe taking a cue from your night out of culture with a real dinner, an actual Broadway themed show, a Broadway touring show.
Yes.
Maybe you and Biggie can turn your challenges, your fitness challenges, into a musical.
Could be done.
Okay.
Honestly, could be done. That is true. We could do that. Because when I see something like Dear Evan Hansen and realize there is a new story out there, there is something unique out there. We could turn that into a musical. Musicals too. What is it? Mayim Bialik. I saw her recently say that musicals are so dumb because people just break into song out of nowhere. But I like them. That is something that when I watched it, that does happen, of course. But it seems so natural when they do it on stage and do it right. So.
Yeah, I've never had that reaction to musicals. I mean, yeah, you're sort of taking a leap of faith anyway, but
Right.
when you just step into for most movies, but that never bothered me. And when you see people singing their hearts out live,
Yes.
100 feet in front of you,
Yes.
it's impressive.
Yes, I thought it was, and the kid. I mean, the show is really about young people. There are all these high school kids. And the kid who plays Evan Hansen just sang really well. I mean, that was really, really good. But the parking garage later was...
that's not your deal.
No. And I paid on the way in.
Okay.
So everybody could just stream out. But, of course, it's like who gets in, who gets out. There are people trying to butt in.
Yeah.
And,
we did the same thing. Everybody pulls out, and then you're stuck. Nobody moves.
it's exactly what it is.
Because it's 4 or 5 levels
That's right.
Yeah.
of the deck.
And I got there pretty late, like right before the show started, because we had to have that dinner. And so I was up at level 4, and it took forever to get out of there.
You didn't think of leaving early from the show?
No.
Get up. We got to go. What? There's 10 minutes left. I want to see how it ends. No, we got to go.
I'll tell you.
I believe, Kelly, last night you were at the premiere. Was there a red carpet? Were there VIPs?
I didn't see any VIPs, but now it was packed. On a middle of the week show, it was. I thought it would be, more sparsely attended, but it was absolutely packed. And the theater is beautiful. That's the first time I've been in there. It's a new thing for us here in town, and it's the first time I've been in there. And it was mask required last night. And they had attendants walking up and down, making sure you're wearing your mask. I did the thing where you tried to get it down under your nose,
Yeah.
Did the old nostril flare. She pointed at me pointed her flashlight at me a couple of times. Mask up.
One of the matrons?
Yes. And then at the end of the show, the cast was saying, thanking us and saying it's so great to be back on the stage again. It's the first time we've done theater in so long. And then one of the cast members said, and thank you to our COVID team for keeping us safe. And I was like, that's right, sister. I wore that. I wore that mask for most of the time anyway. It's got a little warm in there. I really wanted to pull that thing down.
Oh, yeah.
I had to really want it. I had to really want Evan Hansen to do
Did
that.
you have to put on slacks last night, Kelly, and dress up?
Yes. Sweater, whole 9 yards. Went all the way with it last night.
So what time did your head finally hit the pillow?
11:20. I mean, it was late last night. And And all I could think was, why did I open my mouth about Chris Demm?
Lesson team
learned.
spring into action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, HR. They're the one group that will spring into action around here. Stay home. Stay home.
Everyone learns that HR lesson at one point.
Yes. Well,
Normally it's over a joke, though.
I have certainly.
I thought it'd be funny. No, okay.
I saw that guy. I watched this show, The Goldbergs, on ABC. Sometimes. I think it's a pretty funny show. It's like set in the 80s. And that guy, Jeff Garland, who is famous from Curb Your Enthusiasm, I just read he was close to getting fired because he was telling off-color jokes to the staff. And literally, he said, yeah, I've had to do sensitivity training a few times. I just think these are funny, and they don't. And that's all he said. He's like, I don't think they're going to fire me, but I think these jokes are funny, so what am I supposed to do? I just tell them, you know?
Well, okay.
That's it. And I did that deep dive on Michael Landon recently. Like everybody's doing. I mean, everybody's talking Michael Landon right now. And his co-star from Little House on the Prairie has written a book about him. And when they used to do bedroom scenes together, a lot of times they would lay in the bed and talk, the characters. And when they were putting the cameras in place for that, he would tell the filthiest jokes. She said that. And she said it made her very uncomfortable. And all he did was tell filthy jokes and talk about sex. And she said he was not a nice person. And that's what he used to do all the time.
Really?
Yeah. And everybody loved him so much. And he wasn't at all like the characters he played, according to her. And that book's out. I mean, it kind of came and went, I think.
Yeah.
But the book was out there. So anyway, that's why this show will suffer today.
Yeah, that's all right.
I have no sleep. Chris Demm is not here. The parking garage was what got me. Because when we walked out at 10:25, I thought, okay, straight home. But
nope.
It doesn't work. Remember that guy? This is talking about yesterday. We had a list of things that young people hate that old people do.
Yep.
Like the customer is always right. That's really not true. Not being able to use technology. This goes right along with the parking garage. Remember that guy, older guy with his grandkids in the car, and he couldn't understand how to get out of the parking garage.
Oh yes.
He didn't have the right money or whatever.
Yeah,
right
he was
coins?
trying to put the right change in there.
Hey, get these quarters in there. What's the matter?
I'm terribly sorry, sir. It's not accepting your quarters.
No, ma'am. What am I doing here? I want to get out of here.
Okay.
It said 30 cents for cars, right?
No, sir.
What, ma'am? All these people are
Okay, I'm terribly sorry, sir. It's 70 cents.
All right, 70 cents. I still can't put the quarters in.
I'm sorry, sir.
The quarters will not go in the slot.
I think the quarters are falling directly out.
They are.
Back to him. You know how that goes, where you put the quarter in and it falls right back to him.
They will now, sir.
They will now.
Yes, because you didn't have a price put up there yet.
Oh, all right. Well, I didn't know. Okay, are we done now?
You have 20 more cents.
You said 70 cents. I put in 3 quarters.
Okay, one must have followed through.
Yeah, I did fall through. Forgot.
Terribly sorry, sir.
Okay, all right. It fell through again.
Okay, you can try a different quarter.
I don't have another quarter.
Okay, try to take that one more time.
Ah, dear God, I did it again. Ma'am, all these people are waiting here. There's another quarter. There's nothing wrong with that quarter. What the Sam Hill? What?
That's where he's really losing it. But what the Sam Hill and his grandchildren who are
laughing,
recording him.
They can't stifle it any longer.
They're starting to laugh. The camera is shaking. They're starting to laugh so hard now because he can't get out of his parking garage.
What is going on here?
Everyone down the bill, sir.
Yeah, I got a dollar bill.
Okay, it'll give you change. You just must not be able to read that quarter, sir.
I don't understand this. I got the whole world behind me over some nickel now. Not my dollar bill. Which way? You want the dollar bill? You want the dollar bill that way? Here's the dollar bill. Huh? It goes in there, right? Well, get it in there.
Well, I don't know.
Now he's
Man, I'm having a heart attack here.
having trouble getting the dollar bill into the slot now. It's too crumpled, you know.
Let me pull forward and give you the money. That's where the dollar bills go, right here.
Okay, it did read your dollar. Did it put the dollar back out of you?
No, it didn't go in.
Okay, I'm terribly sorry, sir.
No, it went in. It came back again.
Okay, so we're starting to face the ground.
What? I can't help it. God bless it. What the hell's the matter with this damn machine?
Now they're yelling at him.
You already took. God. Dear God.
Good, now let's work. Take the change.
Bro, Shane, I only want the God. Change up your ass. Stupid mother.
He didn't stick around for the change.
No.